Hey all, here are OS Reviews. This video is going to be about something a little less conventional. It's actually LED glowing light up balloons. These are actually real balloons that you can fill up with helium and they will float, but there's also an integrated LED component which is not user replaceable, so you can't swap out the batteries, but it will glow and flash throughout the night and will last for up to 10 hours or so before it dies out, which actually creates a very cool effect if all the lights are off and you have these balloons floating in the air with a crazy light show going on. It almost becomes its own kind of a decorative theme. So the packaging here is pretty simple. You can get these in various quantities. There's some links down below, and they're also pretty cheap. So the pack here, I believe, has 30 to 50 balloons, and it sells for under $15. So it's not super expensive either. Packaging seems fairly simple, and there's even what looks like the wire that you could use to hang these balloons to prevent them from flying away. So it's pretty thoughtful. There's quite a few accessories that you get. The balloon comes in this giant kind of pouch, and what you see on the bottom here are the pull-out tabs. You pull it out and the lights instantly start flashing, so there's no assembly needed, and it uses cell-based batteries, again, which aren't really replaceable. Now, I know that there are actually other kind of accessories on the market that allow you to light up balloons, which feature kind of an LED light that you would insert physically into a regular balloon to make it light up. But this one is a pre-assembled set, which makes a bit more sense if you're in a hurry or if you don't have quite as much time. You do get an assortment of colors, so all of the different colors from green, blue, pink, purple, red. Now, one thing that you notice is that the patterns of the balloons are completely random. They're assorted, so there's not too much choice in that. But you do have some which are polka dots that looks pretty unique. There's also kind of a firework pattern. You may even have some of these moon and star patterns, but by far the most common one would be flowers or floral patterns. So either this or some other patterns that you can see directly on the top here all have kind of this flower going on. So there's not too much choice there, but at least it's not just a plain balloon, give or take. Now, one thing I have to say is I was looking for more white balloons because I'm unsure if the LEDs in here are multicolor or if it's just using the color of the balloons themselves to create the lights, green, red, or purple. If the LEDs themselves have a color, then you would think that having a balloon that's a certain shade would distract from the LEDs giving the best display of the light, but we'll have to find out later on in this video whether or not it's multicolor or just a white light. But I wanted to find more of these white balloons, and there doesn't seem to be too many in the pack I got. But perhaps something else I noticed is that there seems to be a little bit of staining going on the latex on the balloon here. You can see maybe it's rubbed off from the other balloons, maybe it's just from the printing here, but it doesn't look quite as immaculate or beautiful as you would perhaps want. So the white color one seems to be the one that's the messiest. Everything else actually seems, again, pretty good in terms of quality. So by kind of reversing the other side of the balloon, so from the tip pulling it backwards, you can see that this is what the light source on the inside looks like. Again, it uses 3-cell batteries, and I've already gone ahead and pulled this part out. It just removes the contact pins, the contact between the batteries, and that prevents the circuit from being completed. But afterwards, you can have, again, this pretty nice glowing effect. Now you can see here that it is indeed a multicolored LED, and so just like my original predictions, maybe having all the balloons be white in color would have made the most sense then, because you would have the most translucency for the colors of the lights to pass through, as opposed to a natural color of the latex maybe obstructing part of the light. So it's not just a white light, you can see it has a pattern, and then it goes through all of the seven different colors before flashing and then gently strobing between them. So there's actually quite a few different patterns going on with the light. It's also a lot brighter than I expected. It's an LED light, which is why it's energy efficient, but you can see it casts a pretty big glow over the background, and because of that it's able to pass through the latex of the balloon and still give it some color. So I'm going to show you guys a demonstration of what it looks like next with the balloon filled up. So here's the balloon partially filled. You can see that it's actually not as bad as I thought or feared that the light wouldn't pass through. It actually does still create some of the colors. Of course, green seems to be the predominant shade, but reds and yellows still seem to be passing through without too many problems. Of course, as the balloon gets larger, it's going to have a stronger effect just because the latex itself will be stretched thinner, and so the color itself will be a little bit more faint, and you can hopefully see what's on the inside a little better as well. But the balloon itself seems to actually do a good job as far as lighting up, and in a darker environment, it indeed seems like a round light as opposed to a balloon, which could again look very cool depending on how you set these up or use them as decorative means in a room. So definitely a very interesting idea for parties as well as events. The balloon itself seems to be of reasonable quality. For some reason, the top half seems to be harder to completely fill up versus the bottom here, so it's not completely even. So here's what the balloon looks like in complete darkness, and you can see the effect, of course, is a lot stronger. Alright, so that's been our video, and first look, hands-on, I guess, review of the light-up LED effect balloons. You can find out more details in our article, but this has been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.